Afghanistan, land of extremes, ravaged by war, and one of the most dangerous countries in the world. So you might wonder why I'm here. I came all the way from Australia for love. She was an aid worker in Kabul, and I was planning to propose. But it didn't work out as planned. I was broke, broken-hearted, and stuck in a war zone. But crazy things happen in Afghanistan, so when these TV guys called and asked me if I wanted to do a travel show about the country, I was ready to listen. They wanted me to find Afghan stories that had never been told. And me? I jumped at the chance. And that's how I became the extreme tourist. Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan, and a population of nearly 3 million people. This city has been at the center of most wars in the region for the last 3,000 years. Those battles continued into the modern era until 1996, when the Taliban forced their way into power and took the country back to the Stone Age. Then, in 2001, from his base in Afghanistan, Osama bin Laden backed this attack on America. America responded by bombing Afghanistan. The Taliban were defeated. And for Afghanistan, a new era began.
This place has been shut off to the world for about 30 years, but in 2001 when the Taliban fell, suddenly the doors opened and there was this huge collision between old world and new. And nothing symbolized that collision better than the controversy over the Afghan version of American Idol, Afghan Star.
That's right, not even in Afghanistan can you avoid reality TV. Conservatives hate it, young people love it, and almost everyone in the country seems to watch it. Now, the latest season of Afghan Star has just got underway, and auditions are being held all over the country. At this very moment, thousands of young Afghans are lining up for the chance to become a singing superstar. And me? I plan to be one of them. It's a plan that will involve a lot of fighting. Fighting pigeons.
Okay, here you go. Jesus Christ.
Fighting kites. And fighting kids. That's a lot of fighting. But after all, we're in Afghanistan. My first battle is the audition for Afghan Star.
The problem is, I'm actually 2 days late for the Kabul auditions. So rather than fly to another province, I've actually tracked down the number of one of the producers of Afghan Star. I gave him a call and I asked for a favor.
But he said that if I want to meet him, I have to go to his home, where he's doing some kind of fighting on the rooftop. Hey, I'll do whatever it takes to get an audition.
That you capture other people's pigeons with it?
Wait. So you capture other people's pigeons?
Yes.
Okay, that's not pigeon racing. What's that? That's pigeon capturing.
Pigeons have always been a popular pastime in Afghanistan, and they're the stars of a highly competitive daily sporting event that plays out above the rooftops of Kabul.
Those are what I call it, the soldiers.
The soldiers?
Yeah.
Why the soldiers?
Because they're the fighters.
These are the ones that actually...
Yeah, they'll come out now.
Well, hey.
There. They know their job.
The soldiers.
the where you give them the direction.
Right.
You move this, they will go that direction.
Uh-huh.
And you have to whistle. Now go. You need 5 minutes to warm up. Do you know how to whistle? No, they won't hear that. Like this. I have done it for like more than 20 years.
20 years?
Yes.
So what happens when you capture a pigeon? What happens to, what does the other person do who loses the pigeon?
They come to you, they buy it, or you don't give it back. You just keep it.
They have to buy their own pigeon back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you make money out of pigeon fighting, pigeon capturing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've made money?
Yeah, a lot. I'm going to capture one.
Let's do it.
Okay, here you go.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Masood stayed in Kabul during the Taliban years, when pigeon fighting was banned, and he was actually the official newsreader on their international radio station.
What kind of music were the Taliban into?
There was no music.
No music?
No music, but there were some Islamic chants by Yusuf Islam, the so-called.
By Yusuf Islam?
Yeah.
You mean like Cat Stevens?
Yeah.
So his Islamic chants were allowed to be played?
Yeah, I remember one of the songs, Where do you live, oh where do you live, in a tin tower, in a... I never forget that.
So they didn't sing anything? Moon shadow, none of those ones?
No.
It's not time to make change. Just
No.
relax. Take it easy.
It was really Islamic.
It's just Islamic.
It's all about Allah and Muhammad the Prophet.
You know who else wants to be a singer on television?
You.
Me.
Really?
That's what I came here to talk to you about today.
Okay. Do you want me in Afghanistan?
Yeah, I wanted to audition. Is it possible?
I don't think it's a problem, but I have to check with my
The bosses?
yes.
First part of the mission accomplished. Now I just have to hope that Masood's bosses are as welcoming as him.
Have a good one. Salam. Will Foxton has?
The next morning, a suicide bomb alert goes up around Kabul, so I decide to get a security briefing from an expert. Bill Foxton is an Englishman working as head of security for an international agency. Cambridge educated, Bill spent 30 years in the British Army, Special Forces, time in the Balkans, and had his arm and leg blown off fighting a secret war in the Middle East.
I might just show you on the map where we're going to go to. Is it okay if
Yes, of course.
put it out here?
Going to Balkh?
I asked Bill about the potential dangers of traveling in Afghanistan.
What would be your biggest fear for us while out there?
Kidnapping.
Kidnapping?
Kidnapping, I would have thought, you know. In Kabul, it happens 3, 4, 5 times a week. You know, it's a national sport.
And that's not all. IEDs, roadside bombs, suicide bombings, shootings, criminal attacks, the Taliban. By the time he finished, I needed a cigarette and a chance to think.
I heard that the Taliban has promised a spring offensive this year.
They promise it every year. April 21st is the end of spring planting.
Yeah.
And September 21st is harvest. So everybody comes home to do the harvest.
To work.
And lay up their guns. I mean, you're okay till the 21st of April, and then the war will start.
That's when we're leaving.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So basically, the next few months in Afghanistan will be the most dangerous time of the year. Or as the locals would soon come to tell me, the season of the Taliban.
I mean, I have to ask you, why are you doing this?
You know, it's a very good question.
Have you sought professional medical help?
We probably should. The reason that we're doing it is because the world only ever gets to hear probably 3 or 4 things about Afghanistan, and that's the Taliban, terrorism, burqa, and oppression, and poverty. And so we want to get in kind of beyond that. We want to get in beyond the extreme.
Bill left me with strict instructions not to go out alone on the streets of Kabul. Unfortunately, I don't have that luxury. Most foreigners in Kabul live and work in heavily guarded compounds, never venturing out without armed guards and bulletproof convoys. But I'm on my own, and I can't do that. After the Taliban were defeated in 2001, they regrouped and returned a few years later to start up battle with the international forces in the country. But they can't take over Kabul by force because it's protected by international and Afghan troops. So they've set about turning the streets into a different kind of war zone, one based on terror and dominated by the ever-present threat of attacks and suicide bombs. And the biggest target of these attacks are foreigners like me. But the simple fact is that if I want access to ordinary Afghans, I'm going to have to put myself into some extraordinarily dangerous situations. But that's a risk I have to take. The next morning, Masood rings to let me know that I've been given the green light for an audition, and I have 2 days to prepare a song. But it's under the condition that I get some lessons from someone who should know, Sia Walizadeh, one of the legends of the very first season of Afghan Star. I'm about to meet a real idol, and I'm just a bit nervous.
Hey.
All right.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
So, you're going to teach me how to be an Afghan star.
It will need some time.
We have 2 days.
Oh,
What are you saying? You can't turn me into something in 2 days? What would be a really good thing is if you taught me some dance moves. Because if I can convince the judges through, you know, some kind of flashy dance moves, maybe that would cover the fact that I can't sing.
In Afghani culture, I think
Yes.
it's a bit different because if I
They don't dance?
If we're in somewhere else, no.
You don't dance at all?
No, we don't dance.
Oh.
It's only the
Uh-oh.
actings, the
I'm in big
handshakings.
trouble.
I mean,
What's on?
But it's too late to turn back now. I show him the Afghan song I've been given to rehearse.
What is it?
It's Watan, this one, Watan Ishq to.
Oh yeah, this is the famous song of.
Did I say that right?
Afghani.
What-
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Wow.
about it. And I think people will vote for you. وطن عشق تو افتخارم.
And you say it's kha, kha,
افتخار.
kharam, kha.
It's كاج.
Kharam, kharam. Which judge is the mean one? Which is the rude judge?
Here in Kabul,
Yeah.
they're not rude.
None of them are rude? There's always one rude judge. There's no rude judge? There's no mean judge?
For me, there wasn't, because all of them were saying, okay, that's
Everybody says Afghan Star is against Afghan culture.
No, that's not true.
It's not true?
No, that's not true, of course. I mean, music is, and everywhere, I mean, in all countries we can see if it's not about the culture, but it's a little bit touching with the religion.
Music's not the only thing making a comeback in this country. One of the other things is the national pastime of kite fighting. That's right, not kite flying, but kite fighting. Completely different to how we do it in the West. And today is the first day of the kite fighting season. There is a massive competition planned for everyone in Kabul, and I've brought my shiny new kites to take part. But not only do I plan to compete, I plan to win. Kite fighting was banned under the Taliban, but it's back with a vengeance, and here's how it works. Young boys stand on the top of rooftops, one controlling the kite, the other letting out the string, which is laced with crushed glass. And with their kites high up in the air above the city, they fight against other boys on rooftops in an attempt to cut the lines of their kite. And if it's an expensive one, then young boys in the street will run after it to claim it. Hence the term, kite runner. It's cultural, it's exciting, it's controlled, and on the first day of the kite season, that is what I expect. Instead, I get this. It's sheer chaos. There are hundreds of kites, thousands of people, flash sandstorms, and the whole thing is being broadcast live on national radio. It's a disaster for me. My 3 beautiful, expensive, handmade kites are ruined before I can even do anything with them. And the kite string nearly slices off my finger.
This is the cut that I got from the last time. Not bad.
Okay, so it's not that impressive.
One snapped kite, one kite which went down in flames over there, and one kite which kind of didn't actually make it at all. So 3 kites in about 10 minutes, even less probably. So we really need some help, I think.
Without my kites, I'm without hope in the competition, so I'm forced to resort to kite running in the hopes of stealing one. But even that comes to a dead end.
Difficult business, kite running.
If I'm going to become a kite fighting champion, I need help.
Who is the best kite maker in all of Kabul? Nurago? Is the best kite fighter as well? Yeah. Okay, so we need to go and visit a guy called Nurago.
I head across the city to find the famous Nur Aga. I've heard of him before, and I have an ulterior motive today. If he's the best in Afghanistan, then I plan to challenge him to a kite fighting showdown.
Salam, خوبستی؟ Nur Aga هست؟ هست.
It turns out he's praying at the mosque. So while I wait, I check out the testaments to his international fame and formidable kite-making talent. And then, the great man arrives.
Salam, خوبستی؟ خوشبختم. I heard that you're the best kite maker in Kabul, and I needed to make a kite myself because I want to challenge somebody to a kite fight.
Nur Aga has been in the kite game for more than 40 years, following on from his father and grandfather, and passing it on to his eldest boy.
So Nur Aga, what happened during the time of the Taliban? Were you able to continue making kites?
ما زمانی که دکان‌های ما بود این تارای ما در روی کار بود اما گودیپرانا مخفی بود در گدام علایده بود باز اونا که در دکان‌ها می‌آمدن این تارا رو نمی‌فهمیدن که ما چی می‌کنیم ما می‌دیم تار گلدوزی یا تار کالای افغانی رو می‌دادن اونا قبول می‌کرد میرم اگر عملاً گیر می‌کرد با چیلا می‌کرد پارا می‌کرد ما رو جزا می‌کرد فکر باز آخر نشد من شخصاً من خودم پول احتمال نبودم با پاکستان 4 سال دیگه پاکستان
What is he making here?
Scorpion.
So, this scorpion is his special symbol? Why is a scorpion your special symbol?
نام پدر من محمد اسماعیل بجوز داوودو بجو بگو چیله میگن داوودو بجو گشتما میگن
When people see this scorpion symbol, it strikes fear into their hearts because they know that it's from Nur Aga?
بله چون کل وطن جهان بگو جایز کی نمیباشه مسترد میشه بابا پس میاد
Nur Aga, who is your biggest rival in the whole of Kabul for kite making?
من رقیب ندارم هر کس رقیب مست بیاید
No rival, eh? We'll see about that.
What I would love you to do is to teach me how to fly a kite so that I can beat this person who I want to challenge.
بگو روز مخصوص باشه تو پروگرام جمع کن پیش ما بیا بگو ما عملاً برای جا میکنیم سر خودت عملاً جا میکنیم
Tashakkur. Thank you. It's beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Okay, so now we're ready to learn how to fly.
After dropping off my kite, I walk through old Kabul and come across more examples of the newly emerging Afghan culture that would never have been tolerated under the Taliban. Taliban means students, and they're an Islamic political group who governed Afghanistan under one of the strictest interpretations of Islamic law ever seen in the Muslim world, trying to replicate the conditions that existed in 7th century Arabia at the time of the Prophet Muhammad. Essentially, they tried to stamp out every cultural activity that Afghans hold dear. The effects of that don't just disappear overnight. the feeling I get is that the shadow of the Taliban remains. The potential for their return is still very much in the mind of ordinary Afghans, and it's as if they're taking this opportunity to get their cultural fill while they still can. Later on in the afternoon, scotch tape on my hands to protect against the glass thread, I head off for my kite fighting lesson with Nur Aga. He starts by showing me the 3 basic moves of kite fighting: left, right, and the rollover. This guy clearly knows what he's doing. Right, left, and now it's my turn.
زمانی که میخوای لوتش بدی یا خوشگتار از اینجا برش هلا که خودش لوت میخوره.
This is Pahlavan, Nur Aga's friend, relative, and business partner, and from this moment on, my other coach.
1, 2. 1, 2. بسیار خوب. بسیار خوب. بسیار خوب.
Yeah, it's
بسیار
great.
خوب.
Yeah, but not really.
Nur Aga, usually one person is the kite flyer and then somebody else is this. What is this called?
چرخگیر.
What does that mean?
بگو چرخگیر نیم استاد کار. اعتباری بگو نیمال گوی پران دست توست. بگو نیمال تو 30% اختیار گوی پران دادی ما که چرخ 70%.
You know, in Australia, we fly kites. It's a gentle pastime. We go out, the people stand there, they run around, they have a nice time. It's very relaxing. But here in Afghanistan, you turn it into a fight. Why? How? Why?
ما اصلا کل شاخ ما در جنگ است. یه چی مصرف شوه یه خب نمود نیست که قلکو تاکو. یه جنگ من دادی یک جنگ بسته می چرخه کدم دیگه پران میره. یکیش میره یکیش تا میشه. مزه میجسته. اما تو برای بگی کار ما خود نیست که بگی تا قلکو پس تاکو. ناگ کولت هم کش کل لنگایت هم افتوام در پیشانیت بزنه. کل لذت دادی در جنگ است. یکی دو تا تو گویی پران بازت 20 تا میبره تا میکنه پس.
Nur Aga suggests I take on one of the neighborhood men in a kite fight, but I've got a better idea.
You know, Nur Aga, I don't want to challenge him. I want to challenge you to a fight.
مالش نه؟ ما تو ببرم بهش خبر نشیم. بگیر علاقه دارم برو گویی پران بگی ما تو میبرم. برو که ما میبرم یعنی از کام تیرت میکنم.
Okay? Yeah? So you're excited about it? Nur Aga, the problem is that I don't have enough time today to actually battle you in a kite fight because I have to go. So can I come back and challenge you?
بگو باز تو هر روز که تو وقت داشتیم مثل امروز باره که ما آگاه باشیم با ما در تو یک تحریم میکنیم.
In preparation for this fight that we will have, what kind of food will you eat? What kind of things will you do? Will you do push-ups and sit-ups?
شیر تخم میخوری.
Milk and eggs? Should I have milk and eggs as well?
An interesting strategy, but if that's what I have to do, so be it. For now, I have to run.
Okay, tashakkur.
خداحافظ.
We'll see you next time. See you at the fight.
But it's not just kite fighting I need to worry about. I've got other challenges on my mind. So they take their music very seriously here in Afghanistan. And if I stuff up in that room tomorrow, I don't know what they're going to do to me. So in the great tradition of idol auditionees around the world, I'm just going to bluff my way through. You know what I'm talking about. Those reality TV singing contestants who walk in like they're a star already. I think it helps numb them to the inevitable pain of rejection. But if you're going to act the star, then you need to look the part. And in Kabul, the fashion is very distinctive. It's big, it's bright, and it's very shiny. It's time for me to buy an Afghan suit. It's the day of the audition and I've got my routine all worked out, but nothing can prepare you for the nerves. Okay,
Is the numbers?
چطور هستی؟
خیلی خوبه. چطور شما خوب هستید؟ In here? Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you.
زمون بلگلون که اون که سوکشتا؟
مروانی
سلام.
بخیر
سلام.
و علیکم
خوش
السلام.
آمدین.
تشکر. Thank you so much.
شما چطور علاقه گرفتین که در این برنامه اشتراک کنین؟
I have always wanted to be an Afghan star.
I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for this opportunity.
خب چی فکر میکنین شما ستاره افغان خواهد شدین؟
This has been my life's dream.
مهربانی بخونین.
Music, please. وطن عشق تو افتخارم وطن در راحت جان نثارم وطن خاک پاکت بهشتم وطن گل خنات لاله زارم
تاسو आवाज کې بسریانه وي
Problems with my voice. Okay, I'll accept that. I find it hard to believe, but I'll accept it.
خودت میفهمی که آهنگ یک آهنگ میهنی است و در این آهنگ ضرور نیست که بریک دانس یا دیگه دانس از اونا باشه. این هم یک اشتباهی تو بود که در این قسمت به اصطلاح خودت کردی.
Okay, so I think these comments are generally pretty positive. So
Does that mean that I'm through?
نه
Okay, well, you know what?
Oh.
You'll all regret this, and I won't forget this. And I'll be back next year. I'll be back next year because I'm too good not to be. Okay?
Okay.
Remember me.
We're waiting of you.
Okay, remember
No
me.
No problem.
اصلی په خپل आवाज په مطابق سندره انتخاب کړی.
یه تیپک خوب داشت برای مدل شدن مگم صداش از کار نبود.
this is Daoud, the famous presenter of Afghan Star.
What they're saying is maybe this year you are too big for the competition. Is that my problem? No, it's the problem of the people who are too small.
You're a very interesting person. ما شما را افتخاری به برنامه فاینال دعوت میکنیم.
افتخاری.
It turns out they think I've got a future as a novelty act. These guys want me to come back in 3 months and perform in front of thousands of screaming kids at the nationally televised final of Afghan Star. Naturally, I accept.
Wow, I accept. Thank you so much. That's great. Finally, somebody who understands.
I've survived the audition, but only just. So if I want to do better on my next battle with the master kite fighter Nur Aga, I'm gonna need some help. Divine help. I've decided to get a blessing from the last Jew of Afghanistan. That's right, there is one Jew left in the whole of Afghanistan, and there's a very good reason that I am going to see him. But more on that soon. Jews have a history in Afghanistan going back 2,000 years. In the 1200s, there were thousands of Jews, but then Genghis Khan, the creation of Israel, and the Soviet invasion meant that by 2004, only 2 remained in the whole country. And here's the ironic part, they both hated each other. The feud became legendary until in 2005, one of them passed away, leaving the other, Zabulon Simitov, as the last Jew left in Afghanistan.
So you're the last Jew of Kabul now. Are you lonely?
نه ما وقتش تو افغانستان سوچ افغانستان 100% افغانستان چینجی برام بیایم فرق میکنه کلش بمیکه اینجی تل آویو فرانسه امریکا کانادا استرالیا ایتالی سوئیسرلند
Excellent. I need you to give me a blessing
to make me safe and to help me with the kite fight. A Jewish blessing. We are actually going to see a synagogue in the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan. I still can't believe it exists. But it does, and it has since 1966. Okay, so I'm not practicing.
Yeah. Can he do it for us? چرا؟ چطور؟ نمیتونه. چرا؟ کار نمیکنه.
میکنه. من I don't understand, you have no understand. ربای understand.
اوکی.
یک جای کدوم جای خطر میشه، یک جای چی میشه، این ربای میزنه. این بسیار مقدم است برای یهودی‌ها.
Okay. What a pity he can't play it then, because I need it now more than ever. Hopefully, his blessing and prayers will be enough.
ایریزاست. تفیله در درخ. میری بخیر. خدا امروز باشه خود بخیر بری بخیر بی. ویفکو. بو. ملخه. الهیم. الوغیم. و یوم. کاشر. رعم. شما اسرائیل. بگو.
شما اسرائیل.
أدوناي.
الهینو. أدوناي. ایها.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Kite Fight Night in Kabul, featuring the champ, Nuraga. Up against the challenger, Sabo. And now, your commentator for this feature event.
این گویی پران بسیار زد کلان است. شاید گویی پرانه. همون گویی پران نگه کابل انتظار از این داشت.
I'm pumped for the showdown with Nuraga. But he's got other ideas.
من امروز مسابقه نمیتونم. بچه‌م امروز مسابقه میتونم. بچه‌م حاضر است که امروز مسابقه بره.
This how old is he?
این 14 ساله است امروز تو ما مسابقه میتونم. این قهرمان است که میاره تو میره بریده نمیتونم.
How come you won't fight me? Is it because you're afraid to fight me today?
ما تو میمانم هستی به خاطر از اینکه تو میمانم هستی تو مرا بریدام نمیتونی. من تو رو بسیار زود میبرم. بچه مرا بریده نمیتونی حاجت به من نیست.
نوراخو گویی پران با بچه خود میتا. این کلان پوگریست. سعی که خارجی هم خوش به نظر نمیرسه. پسش که
Nuraga has refused to fight me today. And instead, he's putting me up against his 14-year-old son. And I'm just worried, you know, because he's a young guy. He's got his whole future ahead of him. He's got his career ahead of him. I don't want to shatter his hopes and dreams, you know. If I take him down today, that could be the end of him. That's my only fear. If that's the way it has to be, that's the way it has to be.
Nuraga had given me strict instructions on how to train for the fight.
What kind of food will you eat? What kind of things will you do? Will you do push-ups and sit-ups? I was eating the eggs and milk like you said, but I'm not sure that it did any good. It kind of made me feel sick.
نه مقصد تکلیف میبینی. اگر مریض نمیشی کمتر از مریض میشی. خیلی بگو اگر دستای با وقتی که بریده شد باشه و با چربش کن.
I think there's been some confusion. He meant I was supposed to lubricate my fingers with eggs and milk, not eat or drink eggs and milk. But no time to dwell on that now, because it's showtime.
Let's fly. Arvan, give me directions. Tell me what to do. What? Go.
The glass thread is starting to cut my fingers. It's really painful.
Who's winning? Janga, it's a fight.
جنگ پر تو حالا بخی جنگ پر تو بیشتر جنگا رو میبازی
Give me directions, Farwan.
کشکو بلندشکو بلندکو
I can't even see the kites. What's happening? They're too far up in the air.
خارجی خوش به نظر نمیرسه حالا با قرآنی خارجی رسه کو پارت بطر گفتم جنگ پرتونه آنه
And then it happens.
تاور زدش را بود رفت از دستش رفت
ایره دیگه پاس کو خارجی را برات منطقه ما برو دیگه ایره دیگه گوشاش نباشه تا بودوریس پاس کو بگو این خارجی را سکو هیچ رقم دیگه کشور اومدی برو بدر نمیتونی تا آمریکای خود برو گفتم داستان لیت بر تو نمیتونی تو نور ما شکست نمیتونی والله اگه بتونی گودی پرون زده که مال داسمان ها از گودی پرون گندش جور کده واه بشک الله واه یک چک
The glass thread has actually shredded my jacket. And my jacket is not the only thing in tatters. So is my pride. Because basically, I was thrashed by a 14-year-old. To prove that Afghan Star is not corrupting Afghan culture, Sia had promised to take me to a traditional music night. But yet another suicide bomb alert has gone off in the city, and most of Kabul is in lockdown, meaning Sia can't come, and I'm on my own. These guys are like a traveling folk band for hire, playing weddings, parties, anything across Kabul, and sometimes, nights like tonight, for a house full of excited foreigners. And because most of these NGO workers, UN staffers, embassy dudes and consultants live their lives in high-security compounds, opportunities to actually mix with Afghans and experience the culture are few and far between. So tonight is a rare treat for them. The band's frontman, Amir, had to escape Afghanistan during the time of the Taliban because they banned most things to do with music. But now he's back and running a traditional music school in Kabul. Does he think Afghan Star is bad for Afghan culture?
نه گپ هر کسی که میگه اشتباه میگه چطور با آهنگایی که خوانده میشه آهنگای افغانی است عموما و این کلچر موسیقی روز به روز به یک نکته هیچ کار حالا فعلا در مجموع در افغانستان در دنیا که در یک نکته استاد نمیباشه یک وقت بود موسیقی که تانبور و محلی و تگپاس حال بسیار سیستم موسیقی پیشرفته شده حالا یک کیبورد میتونه هم آلات موسیقی رو بنوازه و هی موسیقی فعلا که دستاری افغان هست هی به عنعنات کلچر ما هیچ کدام تاثیر نآورده موسیقی ما رشد کرده یعنی که 1% رشد کرده موسیقی.
In fact, Amir reckons that because of the access to new Western instruments, a new style of music has emerged, a fusion of Afghan folk and Western pop. But for now, it's back to what we all came for. months later, and it's the final of Afghanistan, and I'm racing to get to the venue in time.
I haven't even practiced either. I still haven't practiced.
The performance will be in front of a live audience, and the broadcast will go out to more than 10 million Afghans. And because I'm the very first act on the bill, there's a real chance I'll miss my opportunity. I need to hurry. But first I need to find my way to the entrance of the hotel. I've never been here before and it's really confusing. And to make matters worse, there's a protest heading straight for the venue. And I think it's a protest against Afghanistan itself. I've got to get to the hotel before they do. Finally, I see a security guard I recognize from the day of the audition, but still my way is blocked. And then I'm through. Security is really tight today.
Vale.
سلام کابل، خوب هستی؟ This is the guy I'll be singing with today, Shakib Hamdard, the winner of the first ever Afghan Star and a current pop sensation across the country.
Afghanistan. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
That's right, I'm about to sing live opposite a major Afghan pop star. No pressure at all then. On the plus side, if I crash and burn, he should be there to save me. Right?
Showtime.
And at this point, absolutely everything goes wrong. Shakib comes out too early, his microphone fails, and the sound system doesn't work. It's a shambles. But in the end, somehow, we make it work together.
Shakib Hamdard!
I can't help but think about all the inspiring people I've met in Kabul. Under the Taliban, so many aspects of life were banned that it's easy to forget that things like music and sport are not new in Afghanistan. They've always been a big part of Afghan culture for centuries. But when an oppressive regime moves in and punishes you for doing these things, then it takes time and a certain amount of bravery to reconnect. But it's very clear to me that in Afghanistan, what was taken away is now being reclaimed. And that is a very powerful thing.
Tashakkur, Shakib Hamdard! Kabul! Thank you, Afghanistan, and good night!